Dear CJ Stroud, make sure you protect the ball at all costs. Let's get it.
Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go. Hard work, work. Everybody doing it right. Hard work, work, work. That's what you say. Hard work, work, work. Earn my pay. Hard work, work, work. Do it every day. Hard work, work. Get up out of quarter to three. Hard work, work. Let me go and earn my pay. Hard work, work. Boots on.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? You're tuning to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Let me make sure I got everything together. Oh, I got it right. Hey, make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Make sure you follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. And make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you read all my articles at www.bigsargemedia.com. All right. Hey, so for those of you all who don't know, and I really don't like to tell my business, but I'll tell you my business right now, who is Sarge. I mean, you talked about crop dusting on yesterday. How could you not want to talk your business? Hey, look, so on Thursdays, right, I go to the barbershop, right? My cousin, shout out to Phil Moore. My cousin, well, his name is Phil Moore, but I mean, I cannot lie. I cannot lie to y'all. Y'all know how we do it. You know, it's Phil Moore, but I say Phil Mo, like it's More, but I really just put the MO on it. So my cousin Phil Mo cutting my hair, right? Every Thursday, right? Every Thursday during football season, I'm in there, and then in the off season, I'm in there like once every 2 weeks, right? So if you sensitive, stay out the barbershop. Like if you sensitive, just please stay at the barbershop. It's some conversations that go on in the barbershop that if you sensitive, I don't think that you can like. Here's the crazy part about the barbershop, right? And I will say this: a barbershop that has all African American barbers in it, right? All black barbers, because the barbershop is therapy, right? You go there, you talk about your barber. Listen, let me tell y'all something. Your barber, your beautician, if you get the waxing done, the waxer, like they know all your business. They know all your business because you tell them. I mean, that's like therapy for real. Like a black barbershop is like a therapy. You go sit in that chair, and then whoever's cutting your barber, you sitting there, man, and y'all, he been cutting your hair for years. Because my cousin been cutting my hair for years. So you interact and you find out things, and he finds out things. He's like a therapist. Like shout out to all the barbers out there, all the barbers, because y'all are like bartenders. You got to hear all of the stories, take on all of that, and then people be sitting there waiting on you to give them advice back. Like, well, I mean, what you think I should do? Should I leave her or should I stay? And he's sitting there like, bro, I went to barber college. I didn't go to college to become a psychologist. I didn't go to college to become a psychiatrist, a counselor, life coach, none of that. Bro, I'm just here to cut your hair. I mean, the advice is gonna cost you more than a tip. So, like, just let me cut your hair. I digress. Hey man, if you're sensitive, stay out of black barbershops because it is not the place that ain't the place to be. That is not the place for you. Because I've seen it. I've seen people in there talking about some things that's near and dear to their heart. Going through some tough times, and I'm like, you came to the wrong spot to talk about that because they are about to roast you. You got about this much time to stop talking about whatever you're talking about if it's near and dear to your heart before you get a joke. And all it takes is one joke. And once that one joke comes, that next joke coming, and that next joke coming, and that next joke is coming, and now you like laughing at your damn self because you're like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have brought that to the barbershop. I digress. Once again, you're tuned to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. All right, so the Houston Texans will take on the Chicago Bears on Sunday night primetime football at NRG Stadium to open up for their home opener, 2024 NFL regular season home opener. Hey, I gotta say this. I've said it once. I'll say it again. I have listen because one of my really, really good friends is a police officer, and she works NRG Stadium as well. And so when I put out yesterday about, hey, make sure you got your parking tickets, make sure your tickets are available, readily available, no parking, there'll be no parking permits, no parking passes on Sunday. And she tweeted out, she responded to it and said, yeah, right. And I said, you know what? If anybody would know, you would know. Please, y'all. There ain't gonna be no parking passes available on Sunday. If you plan on coming to the game, and you heard what CJ said, hey, maybe it's a night game, maybe I'll show up a little bit earlier. Side note, these players be noticing when they play these 12 o'clock games, they be looking around at the stadium. Especially they compare their home stadium to the away stadium. And so if they're on the road and they see these other fans, they know that they have like a 12 o'clock start or a 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time start. If it's a 1 o'clock game on the East Coast, they looking around and they can tell, okay, well, how come all these fans can get here to an early game, but our fans can't? So, like, I'm not trying to put any pressure on y'all, Houston Texans fans. Just know they watching. And if you plan on coming to the game, if the game starts at 12, like, you should want to be in your seat for kickoff. Like, why do you have to be fashionably late to a football game? Another story for another time. Make sure y'all got y'all parking passes before Sunday, before they sell out. Make sure, because there will be no, listen, I got that straight from the organization. There will be no parking passes available to purchase on Sunday. All right, let's jump into it. So one of my keys to victory for the Houston Texans this week is they have to be able to protect the ball. They have to be able to protect the ball because the Chicago Bears cornerbacks, Jalen Johnson and Tyreek Stevenson, they're ball hawks. Not even, listen, hold on. And just like and I should have put that clip out. I'll put it out later on social media. But D'Amico Ryan said yesterday, the linebackers are too. Like, Jalen Johnson ended the season with 4 interceptions. Tyreek Evans had 4 interceptions last season. And the linebacker Edmonds, I think, had 4 as well. So it isn't just, like he said, it isn't just the defensive backs. The linebackers are ball hawks as well. But when you're talking about 2 players, especially Jalen Johnson and Tyreek Stevenson, those 2 guys can change the trajectory of a game. Like last season, that defense alone had 16 interceptions in the last 7 games. 4 of those games, they had 3 or more interceptions. Now, we know CJ is very, very, very protective of the ball. We know that. We know that CJ is very accurate with the ball, right? We know that. We've seen how accurate he can be. We know how he will protect the football. He did not have a lot of interceptions on last season. I don't have the stats right here. I forgot how many interceptions he threw for last year, but it wasn't a lot. I should have known that off the top of my head, but I got so much running in my mind right now, I can't remember. But we know that CJ is accurate with the ball. We also know that this is a team who loves to take the ball away. I'm going to show you a play here pretty soon after we listen to CJ talk about the Bears defensive backfield, but I'm going to show you a play from cornerback Jalen Johnson of the Chicago Bears that sealed the game against the Tennessee Titans on last week because, like I said, they're ball hawks. They had 3 turnovers last week. They had 3 turnovers last week. Okay, so 4 if you're counting the special teams punt that they blocked. That the punt that got blocked in return for a touchdown. But they had, I think, 2 interceptions and a fumble. Last season, they tied with the San Francisco 49ers for most interceptions on the season with 22. They were 5th total in takeaways. So this isn't a team that the Houston Texans are playing that are just going to sit back and allow CJ to do what he wants to do. They're going to try to make it as hard as they can, and they're going to try to take the ball away. They have good field awareness, good sense of where they are, good sense of where what the quarterback is doing, and from the quarterback, every level, those defensive backs and those linebackers, but especially those defensive backs, they're watching and they're seeing everything in front of them, and that's how they play. And so on yesterday, I asked CJ Stroud about the Chicago Bears defensive backfield, and here's what he had to say. What are the issues that the Bears defensive backfield present?
Uh, I mean, they play really sound. Of course, they have all the talent in the world. 29 Tariq and Jalen Johnson, number one, are two great corners. They play the ball really well. Kevin Byard has been playing at a high level for a long time. And Briscoe played in college. He's a dog. I think they had one of the most interception rates last year. And they got two last week. So, got to be cognizant of that and know that you got to be careful with the ball because, they won the game pretty much on defense last week. So, definitely a great defense. Got a lot of respect for those guys. Can't wait to compete against them.
And so what I told you all earlier about the 22 interceptions that they had last season is tied for first place with the San Francisco 49. That's what CJ was referencing about them having that many turnovers on last year. And so what I feel like Bobby Slowick is going to have to do, him and CJ is going to have to be on the same page with this, is that they're going to have to spread that ball around just like they did last week. They're going to have to make sure that Tank is involved, Nico is involved, Stephon Diggs is involved. This may be a perfect week to use some of those guys as decoys and let Dalton Schultz work the soft spots in the defense. That let Dalton Schultz be able to find the holes that's in that defense and sit down and become another target for CJ, or even bring Mixon out of the backfield and be able to use him in order to find some of these soft spots and slow some of these ball hawking cornerbacks down. And so the one thing that would also help the Houston Texans is that they can have a repeat performance of what they did in the run game on last week. Because if you give CJ the time, he will pick apart a defense. If you give him an additional weapon in the run game, and they can reproduce what they did last week. Now, it doesn't mean that Joe Mixon has to have 159 yards rushing. That's not what that means. He does not have to have 159 yards rushing. But if he has like 112, 120, and a touchdown, that means, and look, he had 30 carries, I think 30 carries in week one. So, you give him 20, 25 carries, you give him that much, and he can get 120 out of in between 25 and 30 carries. That's good enough to keep that defense at bay. That's good enough to keep that defense back in order for him to be able to, in order for CJ now to be able to pick apart that defense and find the holes in that defense using those wide receivers. Let me put this up here. If the Bears load the box or try to play aggressive, the Texans wide receivers are going to feast. Exactly. And that's what's going to have to happen. But in order for that to happen, though, the offensive line is going to have a repeat performance of what they did last week. Joe Mixon is going to have to repeat, what he did. Like I said, he doesn't have to be the AFC Offensive Player of the Week. He doesn't have to have that type of performance. Now, if he has back-to-back performances like that, that's going to help out that Houston Texans offense going forward, because now, if he has back-to-back performances of 150 yards, these defensive coordinators from here on out is saying, okay, so what you're telling me is I got to play CJ, then I got to play Diggs, and I got to play Tank, and I got to play Nico, and I got to play Dalton, and I got to account for Mixon. That's a hard day out. That's a hard day for any defensive coordinator in any defense. And I'm talking about some of the best defenses in the league. That's hard to do. And if they can replicate that, if you're looking at Joe Mixon consistently getting every week in between 90 and 120 yards rushing, now there may be some games he may not get but 70. But if he getting 70, that means CJ probably didn't threw for 400. But if he can consistently get 90 to 120, it's going to make it hard on the defense. And so in order for to keep these ball hawking cornerbacks like Jalen Johnson and Tyreek Stevenson at bay, you're going to have to make sure that that offensive line is mauling players like they did last week. Joe Mixon is going to have to run like he did last week, because if not, you're in for a long day. You are in for a very long day. And if the offensive line doesn't block good enough, if the offensive line doesn't allow CJ to have the time, kind of like how they started out last week against the Colts, like that first, they looked really rusty, and I get it because they hadn't played together, but they didn't look good. And they allowed a lot of pressure on CJ in the beginning. You can't have a start like that in the second half. I'm sorry, in the second game of the season. In game 2, you can't have that, because here's what's going to happen. Now, what I'm about to show you is the final offensive play for the Tennessee Titans last week against the Chicago Bears. If you look down on the screen, you'll see number 1 and Jalen Johnson, cornerback for the Bears, making the game-sealing interception. But what I want you to watch throughout this entire play is what caused that. What caused him to what caused Will Levis to throw that interception? Yes, there will be a pop quiz at the end of this. Pressure, right? Pressure. I gave you the answer. I was trying to see if anybody else was saying anything. They y'all didn't pass it. Y'all failed. Everybody got zeros. I told you it's gonna be a pop quiz at the end of that video. I know I didn't give you enough time to answer, but you see what caused that interception, though, right? What caused that interception was pressure on Will Levis. Now, do I believe that CJ has a better pocket presence than Will Levis? Of course I do. Do I believe that he can get out? All right, Alexis, you said it out loud. I'm gonna get you a gift card. I think that CJ has a better pocket presence than what Will Levis has, and he'll be able to manipulate the pocket once the pressure starts to get to him. He knows how to move around, and he has that great sense with the rest of his wide receivers on where they need to be and what they need to do once he starts maneuvering and moving around in the pocket. But if you look on that, if they do not keep CJ protected, Jalen Johnson and Tyreek Stevenson, I hate to say it, they're gonna eat. They're gonna eat. And what I mean by eat, it ain't always got to be an interception. But if they're playing really good defense, not allowing CJ to complete passes, they're eating. It don't always got to be an interception. If they're pass deflecting, if they're almost coming up with interceptions, that's gonna cause a lot. That's gonna cause a lot to have to shift and change on Bobby's end and on CJ's end. And so that's where I think that one of my keys to victory is that you have to make sure that you account for both of those Chicago Bears cornerbacks. You got to make sure that you account for that for those linebackers, but especially those cornerbacks who love to jump the ball and who loves to read the quarterback. Now, that's a good thing that the Houston Texans have, because they got CJ, like I said earlier, who can manipulate the pocket. Hold on. Hey, y'all, let me tell y'all something. This is a special moment for me, y'all, only because, this is my guy, Michael Tula, man. Me and Michael Tula, really quick story. When I first started out in this business, I was holding the camera as Tula gave post-game recaps. My first 2 games I ever covered, TCU versus UT at TCU, and then we left there and we went to Jerry's World to watch. This is when Patrick Mahomes last season with the 2 seasons before he left Texas Tech, right? Well, anyway, it was Texas Tech versus Baylor at Jerry's World. I got a chance to be on the field for the first time. Oh man, it was amazing. This guy has a great sports mind. We've done shows together. I mean, this is my guy. Michael Tula, man. I hope New York is treating you well, brother. He says, I hope they commit to the run all season. I don't care if they average 2.9 yards sometimes. Keep running it. You are right. You're right. You're right, Tula. And I think that's what they want to do. I think that's what the mindset of Bobby and D'Amico is. Because remember now, D'Amico's old school too. D'Amico's old school, and he knows that if he can control the clock, what did the Houston Texans were what? They possessed the ball 40 minutes last week. They had the ball for 40 minutes last week against the Colts, right? That's like kind of what you want to do. As long as you can keep the ball away from the offense, you're doing good. If you can sustain drives, and just keep them going and keep them going and keep the offense on the side, ain't that the plan? That's the plan. But that can only happen. You can't get that way passing the ball on every down. You got to get that way with running the ball. And so, as I digress, like I said, one of my keys to victory is you've got to keep these ball hawking cornerbacks at bay. Keep them at bay. And I think that you can with the wide receiver core that the Houston Texans have. What's up, Miles and that cognac? Hey, man. Hey, hold on, y'all. Side note. Miles and that cognac. I see your Avi. I see your little picture right there. It's of Shannon Sharpe. Yeah. I mean, like I would keep it too because Shannon is hot these days and out here in these streets. I mean, really hot out here in these streets. I was like, I thought DMX had passed away. God rest his soul. Like, I like DMX. Then I was like, well, maybe Shannon Sharpe is a DMX fan because what is this growling for? And who is Michelle? And like, did I need to hear all of that, Shannon? Side note, outside of the growling, that's what he sounded like. Outside of sounding like DMX, God rest his soul, outside of all that talking you was doing, outside of we're still trying to figure out who Michelle is. Hey, Shannon, side note, I know this is Sports Talk with Big Sarge, right? And I'm listen, I don't know if a lot of you all know me or not. Like, for those of y'all who know me personally, you know I'm petty, like petty. Like petty man, yeah, that's me. Like Petty Pendergrass, like Petty Bridgewater, like I'm petty, like super petty. And my mind is always turning petty. Like there's different types of compartments of my brain. It's like the nerd side, the music side, the loving side, the mental health side, the everything else side, and then there's petty. And petty is the biggest side. Like I'm petty. Hey Shannon, who you think you're fooling, bro? That what you told us, what you told us about how it happened. Hey Shannon, you said you came in, you just threw your phone on the bed, and then you went to work. You don't know how your phone got on IG Live. And people just kept trying to FaceTime you that you ain't never talked to before while in the midst of you doing the horizontal mambo, doing the nasty. You said you don't know how to go IG Live. Hey, Shannon, let me tell you something. You know how many steps you got to take in order to get on IG Live? Like IG Live. Like I could have seen if you had say you threw your phone down and all of a sudden it dials somebody. Okay, cool. I mean, phones mess up too, right? I got it. You threw it down and it FaceTime the last person you FaceTime. Cool. IG Live, Shannon. IG Live. Where you damn near got to get 5 minutes, take 5 minutes just to get on IG Live. You know how many steps you got to take in order to get on IG Live? And you're going to talk about you don't know nothing about IG Live? I don't know nothing about no IG Live. I just threw my phone on the bed, took me a honey pack, and I went to work. Really, Shannon? Really? That's what you want us to believe. That's what you want us to believe. You think we crazier than a bullfrog on a log, huh? Ain't that one of his one of his sayings? What is it? Colloquialisms? I gotta get that word right. It's one of his sayings, right? You must think we crazier than the bed bug. You must think we more dizzier than a mosquito in a sugar factory. Boy, you must think we more crazier than fly on cow boo-boo, man. Shannon, are you serious right now? You want us to believe that you took your phone and threw it. So it just, if you took your phone, Shannon, you took your, and now I'm on IG Live. Michelle. I digress. You all didn't come here for me to be petty and break down Shannon's sex IG Live, whatever it was, recording. You didn't come here for that. You came here because you wanted me to finish talking about the Texans and CJ Stroud and what he must do to protect the ball. You didn't come here to hear me say, Shannon, if you just wanted likes and clicks, then you should just say you wanted likes and clicks. That's it. If you said you wanted your name to stay hot in these streets, like it was with the Cat Williams interview and with these other interviews that you had, we know Cat Williams is the biggest one, and then everything else. Like, if you just wanted to keep your name in the streets like that, Shannon, then I mean, I'm pretty sure that was just say that. I mean, if you want to kill the conspiracy theory about your sexuality, just you got to lie. You do not have to lie to kick it, Shannon. You not have to lie and think people are going to believe that all you did was threw your phone on the bed, took a honey pack, and then you went to work. All right. I digress. Now, listen, not only will the Houston Texans offense have to make sure that they're watching for the ball hawking cornerbacks in Jalen Johnson and Tyreek Stevens for the Chicago Bears, but hey, this is a big game. This is a big game for the Texans defensive backs as well. This is a big game. This is a big game for Derek Stingley. This is a big game for Kamari Lassiter, because they're going up against better wide receivers than they went up against the Indianapolis Colts and Keenan Allen and DJ Moore. And I just found out that rookie Rome Aduzier will not be playing this week. I think that they say he may be out for a couple of weeks because he had an MRI on his knee and he's out. He won't be playing this week. But that doesn't mean you have to change whatever game plan you had by making sure you keep the pressure on Caleb Williams. And what we talked about on Tuesday, what's today? No, what we talked about on Wednesday's show was keeping that heat on him, keeping that pressure on him, and forcing him into different types of plays, because Kamari Lassiter he's learning. He's serviceable. He's learning that. And what I mean by serviceable is I haven't seen that ball hawk in him just yet. So that's what I mean by serviceable. That isn't, I'm not using that as a derogatory term. What I mean by serviceable is like I haven't seen that ball hawk in him just yet. I know he has it in him. But he's more, hey, I really just like, y'all, Kamari Lassiter wears black forces on his own, by his own choice. Not forced to do it at all. He wears black Air Force Ones on his own. Those of you all who are trying to figure out what that means, there's this little stigma that anybody that wears black Air Force Ones is always picking violence, no matter what. There is no such thing as peace. Kamari Lassiter, he's always ready. He's always ready. And so that's what I'm saying. I've seen that dog in him. I haven't seen that ball hawk in him just yet, but I've only watched him play in one regular season NFL game in his career. So maybe this is the week. We know that he got a ball hawk, but it's going to be playing behind him in Kalen Bullock. But on that other side, number 24 wants it. He wants it, and he wants it all the time. He wants it. He wants that ball. all the time. He's looking to get the ball all the time. And so Caleb Williams, you new here, brother. You might not want to pick on that guy too much. Now, listen, don't get me wrong. I know who you are. I know your accolades coming out of college. I know that you were the number one overall pick. But when you drop back and you look to your right, you're going up against a guy that I've said this before and I'll say it again. And it was said on numerous occasions that when he stepped on the campus of LSU, he was the best cornerback in America. He was the best cornerback in college football. It ain't too many times you're gonna fool him. We seen him have some plays that I'm pretty sure that he wants back last week against the Colts, but there's no possible way that you just finna just beat him like that. No, it's not gonna happen. He's gonna make it. It's a hard day for you if you start picking on number 24. Now, once again with Will Anderson Jr. and with Danielle Hunter coming off that edge, the Bears don't have a offensive line like what the Colts had. So I'm expecting, at least, 2 sacks, maybe 2 sacks apiece from both of them, especially going up against a rookie quarterback, especially putting that type of pressure on them. But if you get the ball out of your hands, I just want you to know, no 24, no bueno, no dice. Don't do it. Keep it to yourself. All right, y'all, I got to get up out of here. The Houston Texans are having practice currently as we speak. I have to get over for the press conferences today. We'll be talking to offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick. We'll be talking to defensive coordinator Matt Burke and special teams coordinator Frank Ross, which I definitely need to ask him about what happened last week and how to prevent that, because the Bears had a block punt for a touchdown this past weekend against the Titans. And so what do you have to do to tighten up? And it came off the same side that the block punt happened against the Colts last week. That right side, that's the same side that the Bears blocked and returned for a touchdown against the Titans. So we'll get over there. We got open locker room today. We'll get a chance to talk. I may come back in here later on. So just depending on what I got for y'all. You've been tuning to. I want to be so petty right now. I honestly and truly want to be petty. But y'all didn't come. This ain't the Buzzed and Petty podcast. Y'all know I got that, right? Y'all know I got a Buzzed and Petty podcast where I'm super duper duper petty. This ain't the Buzzed and Petty podcast. I have to remember, you've been tuned in to the Sports Talk with the Big Sarge show right here. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Those of you all have taken your time to leave comments, I want to go through them real quick, because for you, listen, I always say time is the most valuable possession that an individual has. And once it's gone, it's gone. It's something that you can never get back. So for you ought to take your time to spend time with me. Let's go through some of these comments. At least 100 yards would be enough. Exactly. Get after Caleb on third down for sure. I think 7 will play a clean game. That Coach field was just super bad. That's a great point, J Mac. That Coach field was super bad. Even Tank Dale said that the other day as well. Good morning. Do you think Jimmy will get burned again by Caleb and Keenan Allen? So no. Shelby Shelton, that's a great question. I don't think that it happened. I'm pretty sure he heard enough from D'Amico this past week about some of the plays that he missed out. And Jimmy's one of those guys that Jimmy is coachable. He's coachable and he'll take it. And if he's wrong, he doesn't mind admitting, I'm wrong. If I messed up, I messed up. Jimmy don't have no problem being around him. These last 2 years, I know Jimmy will take accountability for what he's done, and he'll come back out and he'll try to make it better. So no, I don't think that he will. Let me see what else. Hold on. Yes, I did. Miles and that cognac. This is going to be Tank Dale's big day. him versus the slot corner and Dalton Schultz versus the safety and linebacker is going to be very key in the matchup. You know what? You know what? This is a great comment. And the reason why I say this is a great comment because I was asked yesterday by one of my colleagues on who do I think who do I think will be the impact player for the Houston Texans against the Chicago Bears? What is that one player that is going to stand out this week, right? And I said Tank Dell. And the reason why I said Tank Dell first. You know what? It's so crazy. I wish you know what, the person that I was talking to today, I'm going to show him. I mean, the person I was talking to him yesterday, I'm going to show him this on today because I told him either Tank Dell or Dalton Schultz was my second pick. And just like I said earlier, Dalton is going to be able to find those soft spots, sit down, and be able to be another target for CJ. But the reason why I think that Tank will have such a great day is because when you got super aggressive cornerbacks like that, they will bite. Let me take this down. You got super aggressive cornerbacks like that, they will bite on a lot. They will bite. Some of that last week, they bit on a lot. And so pump fake here, pump fake there. You put CJ put Tank and Stephon on the same side and keep giving them different looks, and they're gonna focus on looking at Stephon, and Tank should be able to eat. Tank should be able to eat. Or you use Stephon to come out to occupy, make sure you occupy that safety and bring occupy that cornerback and then bring Tank across to make that safety have to play him. Like it ain't too many safeties in this game that can play Tank one-on-one. So yes, that you're right about that. That you are right about. Hold on, let me see. What is this one? I think Houston's interior D line is better than Chicago's interior O line. Hey, Mo Beasley, that is a great point as well. That is a great point. And listen, when I went back and watched that game against the Titans. Now, mind you, now the Titans interior. Hold on. Hey, the Titans interior defensive line, they're monsters. They are monsters. And so the way they beat up on that Chicago line, I felt bad sometimes with Caleb. I'm watching the game, I'm like, sheesh. Hold on, let me bring that back. Oh, good Lord. I don't even think the guy was out of his stance yet before. Yeah. So you're right. Let's see. They're not throwing towards KL four-way so far. No, they have not. But in this game, when you're looking at going back to the Colts game, I like Pierce. Adonai Mitchell is a rookie, so that was his first game playing, and he wasn't really going to be able to do that much against Kamari Lassiter. Don't get me wrong, he has the speed, he has the ability, but they have played against each other so many times, lined up against each other so many times in college. As far as practice is concerned, Kamari knows the ins and out of what he was going to do. Now you're going up against two seasoned veterans in Keenan Allen and DJ Moore. So this is going to be a little bit different for him because those wide receivers, when they line up across from him, they got moves that he's never seen before. They got veteran moves that he hasn't seen before. So he has to make sure that he's ready to watch, that he has to be studied up. Like he has to watch because they're going to try to pull out all the veteran moves. You know what it's like? You ever been to the basketball court and you play, you're a young pup and you're like, oh yeah, I'm about to run these old dudes. And then you get on there and there may be a dude on there with some Chucks on, some cutoff jeans, and sometimes these dudes be having hooping in button-up shirts, like flannel shirts seem like they came from Walmart, or man, he may have on just a long sleeve shirt, and you're like, I'm not finna let this dude beat me, bro. Yeah, he got on cutoff shorts, and this is before cutoff shorts was popular again. You look at me like, nah, I'm about to do this, old dude. And then next thing you know, you find yourself in a heated battle that you cannot get out of. And he has put you in a blender. And he's making sure that he takes advantage of you at any point in time that he can, because he's using moves that he's used 15 years ago and you ain't never seen them before. So by the time you get used to, by the time you learn to play that one move that he's been using on you, he done pulled out another one. So now you saying to yourself, okay, he might have got me this time. But when we run it back, okay, you're gonna have to keep going in that bag and keep going in the bag, and eventually that bag gonna get empty. And then that's when I'm gonna take over. So let me see what else I got. What else I got? Yeah. Hey Larry, you're right. Um Schultz was on the injured reserve. I'm not injured reserve. He's on the injury report on Wednesday. So and Brevin or Cade, yes, they may play, but I think this may be just, I'm gonna find out today and I'll let you all know. I'll let you all know on tomorrow, because tomorrow before the injury report comes out, I should have an answer on whether or not he's going to play, because if he's on the injury report on Friday, then 9 times out of 10 he won't be playing. So this may be just precautionary for him to sit out for now, to whatever little nagging injury he has. I don't think that it was something that's too big that's going to keep him out like that. And so hold on, what is this? It's minor, but I hope the roof is open Sunday night. uh, NRG at night is cool. You know what? D Skills H Town. I hope the roof is open as well. Wow, I can't get my, I'm sounding like Shannon did on the sex tape. Ooh, oh girl, you got my toes curled up like I'm in an ice machine. Anyway, yes, I hope that the roof is open as well. I don't know what the weather's supposed to be like. Maybe somebody could tell me. I don't know what the weather's supposed to be like, but I hope that it's open. Because it'll be a beautiful night. And I ain't gonna even lie, when we was in Indianapolis and they had the roof open, I'm saying to myself, ooh, I like this. All right, let me finish going through. I'm telling you all, listen, I value your time. And for you to spend your time here with me, I'm going to read these comments because it means a lot to me for you all to interact with me like this. Which wide receiver is going to go off on Sunday? I don't. So, are you talking about Texans or are you talking about Bears? Get back to me. Y'all think DP will get? I think that he will get more carries, only because I believe that the Texans are going to be up enough where they're going to be able to rest Joe Mixon. We'll talk about that on Friday's show. Tank Dell ain't gonna do nothing, and CJ is in a world of hurt and trouble. We got bulletin board material on Stroud. He called our organization stupid. Players not happy. Hey, where do you have that at? Like, do you mind sharing the link to us where CJ called the Bears organization stupid? And I'm gonna keep this up just for a second, the ghost of Judah Tribe, because see, the one thing that I pride myself on is being able to have the access to be able to talk to these players. I ain't never heard CJ talk like that on the mic, off the mic, at the podium, away from the podium, at his football camps, at a community event, talking to him, sitting next to him in his locker, just having a conversation, just talking. I've never heard CJ talk like this. So where did he call your organization stupid? That's not CJ. And that's not something CJ would do in order for it to get into the public. He's smarter than that. Come on, bruh. Come on, man. Like, if you just want to say you want the Bears to win, just say you want the Bears to win. You ain't got to do all of that. You ain't got to do all the capping. I'm cool with that. Hold on. Hey, Texas fans, y'all find them. He said they've been warned. Warned for what? Warned about what? That the Bears? Sometimes you just have to say okay and move on. Let me see. Chicago let Pollard run wild last week, and you think they'll be able to contain Mixon on Sunday? Oh, they coming for Judah now. Hold on. Judah been everywhere this week talking crazy. I see. Judah is a troll. Ah. Oh, Lord, y'all gonna have to go back through these comments on y'all own. Oh, what? Oh, I gotta put this one up because I told y'all earlier I'm petty, right? Like, I'm sorry, y'all. Listen, this has been a great show. Do not get me wrong. I think that I gave you all a lot of substance. I think that I gave you with one of the keys to victory. I think that I gave you all a lot of substance with evidence and proof. But I gave you a lot of petty too. And y'all know I'm petty, so I gotta show this one. Hold on. No, not that one. This one. Carlos says Hunter gonna clap the Bears cheeks like he did when he was in Minnesota. Hey, Carlos, you should have said Hunter gonna clap the Bears cheeks like Shannon Sharpe was doing. Michelle, hey, Michelle, oh, Michelle, oh, Michelle, Michelle. Hey, so what you saying is Hunter gonna take a honey back. Right? I just should have said Hunter gonna clap them cheeks like Shannon Sharpe was doing. Oh man. Oh my God. This is hilarious, y'all. Oh. You've been tuning into the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you're reading all my articles at BigSargeMedia.com. Hey, the Ghost of Judah tribe. I respect it. I respect you jumping in with all these Texans fans and, hey, stand on business. But what I don't want you to do is the Texans win, don't run. Come back. Come back on Monday. I'll be right here. Monday, I'm going to be right here. This is a home game, so I don't have to travel. I'm going to be right here. Do not run. Make sure you come back, because if you don't come back, these Texans fans will find you wherever you are, and they're going to troll you until the Bears and the Texans play again. Don't run. Now, if the Bears win, you're welcome to come right back in here and go to work. You can troll all you want to. Come back, but don't run if y'all lose. This has been amazing. Hold on. Yep. Hey, look. Hold on. See what they say? Keep that same energy. Oh, show us that nice empty trophy case. Hey, now look. Hold on, brother. Hold on. One second. Because I'm a Cowboys fan, right? I cover the Texans, and I think I do a damn good job at it. But I'm a Cowboys fan, right? Hey, man. When is the Bears' last Super Bowl? 85? Not last Super Bowl appearance. Last Super Bowl win. When? When's the last Super Bowl win? It's 85, right? And before that, you talking about Papa Bear Hallis? Them days? You going back to you going back to when they had leather helmets and no face masks? Come on, bruh. I'm a Cowboys fan. I hear it all the time. These Cowboy fans use our old trophies. I only bring it up when people start talking about it. Because if you ain't got one and you talking about Super Bowl, I don't care when the last time they got one, they got it. But if you're talking to me as a Cowboys fan, right? You trying to talk about the Texans, but y'all ain't got one since 85. Hold on. Hold on, Larry. Hold on, Larry. We are the Bears wrecking Super Bowl. Wait, what was the Super Bowl shuffle? We are the Bears wrecking crew, putting it down just for you. Right? Ain't that how it went? That's how it went, right? We are the Bears wrecking crew, putting it down just for you. We're not here to start no trouble. We're just here to do the Super Bowl shuffle. Hey, don't lie. Do not lie. Do not lie. Big Sarge got one of the best shows, right? Big Sarge got one of the best shows out there, right? I know, right? And this is what I love. Let me tell y'all something. If I ever do get back on the radio, right? If I ever say, okay, I'm doing a radio show, right? I'm ready to do a radio show. Who gonna give me the opportunity to do the radio show? If I ever do, just know phone lines will be open. It's gonna be one of my stipulations. If I can't talk to the fans, if you can't call in and talk with me, whether you agree or disagree, if we can't do that, I don't want a show. No, I'm good, brother. Don't hire me. Do not hire me if I can't interact with the fans. Because I'm not always right and I'm not always wrong. So sometimes I'm going to be wrong as two left shoes. Somebody can call in. I'll be like, you know what? You're right. And I will admit when I'm wrong. When I'm right, y'all know me. Y'all know Sarge. Y'all know how I am. I'm on it. So I never, ever want there to be a time where I can't do nothing to interact with the fans. Nothing. And I don't want to say I'm gonna take fan interaction from text. I don't want to take it from email. I don't want to take it from Twitch comments. I don't want to take it from YouTube comments. I don't want to take it from email, pigeon, note, Morse code, none of that stuff. No video, no FaceTime, none of that. No, I want to hear the voice so there can be nothing that can be misconstrued about the interaction you and I are about to have, either on my end or on your end. If you agree with me, we talking. If you disagree with me, we talking. Either way, we're talking. That's what sports talk radio has always been about. Now, there's going to be some people who are watching this anonymously. There are some people listening to this anonymously. I'm not taking a shot at anybody, okay? Because now I have to say these type of things. I am not taking a shot at anybody. I said if Sarge, that's what Sarge is going to do. Sarge. Government name, Brian Bearfield. Me. So I don't need no texts. I don't need no subliminal tweets. I don't need nobody coming to, hey, Sarge, you know, when you said on your show about blah, 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 were you taking some shots? No, not. I'm talking about me. Yep. Hold on. Yep. Big Sarge. Oh, I hate to leave this show, y'all, but I got it. Can we do this again? Y'all don't mind doing this again, do you? Can we do it again? Let's do it again. Big Sarge, I'm out.
Hard work. Hard work. Hard work.